All right, so we are going to factor 4x squared plus 3x minus 10 completely using the Xbox method. We're starting with standard form and wanting to turn it into factored form. So to start, we are going to draw the x. I'll draw the x right here. For our second step, what we want to do is fill in the top. So our top is going to be multiplying our first term from our expression and our last term from our expression. Right, so in this case, we have 4x squared times negative 10. So I'll put that in the top. 4x squared times our negative 10. That gives us negative 40x squared. Then that's going to be our product. Okay, so for step 3, we are going to fill in the bottom, which is going to be the middle term from our expression as our sum. So I'm going to highlight our plus 3. That is the term that will go in the bottom, our 3x, and that is our sum. For our fourth step, what we want to do is find the factors that multiply to our product, which is the factors of your product, and also add to our sum. So find the factors of your product that add to your sum. Okay, so essentially we want to find the factors of negative 40 that add to 3. So find the factors of your top that add to your bottom. What we are going to do here is list the factors of negative 40. All right, I'm going to do this to the right. So negative 1 times 40 and then negative 40 times 1. It's important to include both numbers or both factors as being negative. So negative 20 times 2, negative 2 times 20, negative 4 times 10, negative 10 times 4, negative 5 times 8, and finally negative 8 times 5. So what we want to do here is add up these pairs. So each pair add together to see if we get our sum of 3. So looking ahead, I know that negative 5 plus 8 is equal to 3. So I know that negative 5x and positive 8x are going to be my two factors on either side of my x. If you have been struggling with finding the factors that add to the sum, all you need to do is add each of these pairs up, right? So if we add all of these up, you start to see a pattern, and it is also much easier to recognize your answer here. All right, so finish adding these up. Perfect. So now we can really tell that negative 5 and positive 8 are our factors because they add to 3. For our fifth step, what we are going to do is fill in our box. So we are going to use the terms from our expression and the factors that we figured out in our x to help us fill in our box. So we'll take the first term from our expression and the last term from our expression highlighted in purple. Put those top left and bottom right. Right? And then for the, the highlighter always messing up. There we go, that's better. Okay. And for the other two blanks in our boxes, we are going to take our two factors. So it does not matter what order you put these in, whether you switch them around, as long as they are the factors that go in the remaining two boxes. All right. From here, what we want to do is we want to factor the box. So our step 6 is going to be to factor the box. In order to do this, we need to find the GCF of all the rows and columns. So both rows and both columns we need to find the GCF of. So to start, we will look at our first column. We want to find the GCF of 4x squared and negative 5x, right? So looking here, our greatest common factor is going to be just x in green. So x is the largest factor that goes into both 4x squared and negative 5x. Moving on to our second column, we want to find the GCF of 8x and negative 10. Looking here, we can see that that is going to be 2. All right. Next, what we want to do is find the GCF of our first row. So looking at 4x squared and 8x, what is the GCF between those two terms? 4x squared and 8x, right? Looking, we can see that we have 4x as our GCF, right? Finally, what we need to find the GCF of is the last row or the second row. So the GCF of negative 5x and negative 10. And the GCF of those two terms, sorry, that says negative 10x, but that is just supposed to be negative 10. The GCF of those is going to be negative 5. All right. So from here, what we want to do as our last and final step is going to be to write these terms in factored form. Okay, so remember, as we talked about in class, factored form has parentheses, and it has two terms or more being multiplied, right? So we're going to fill in our parentheses using the top factors that we found. So our x and our 2, we're going to add those together. And then the ones on the left we will combine as well as 4x minus 5. You want to make sure that you are keeping your signs with your numbers. So that's why we have 4x minus 5. So this is factored form. And that is how you factor using the Xbox method.